Hello. So it looks like we are live. So I'm just going to take 1 second to make sure that I'm recording this for the replay. Excellent. Very good. So I'm going to pull up my notes. I'm very excited about going live and talking to you about blogs that sell. Today is the first day. And as you know, we're going to have 3 days. So it looks like it's recording. Excellent. So let's make sure that it's streaming. Okay, it looks like the quality is not that great. Hopefully that's just my connection. Well, let me know. I'm going to get my my microphone a little bit closer so you can hear me more clearly. Excellent. So, right. So we're going to jump in and start in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to give you all a minute to join. And I'm going to switch on the live chat so I can see you. Excellent. So let me know that you're here. Put your name into the chat and let me know you're here. In the meantime, I just wanted to give you a quick summary of what we're going to do in the next week. So we're going to meet today, Monday, we're going to meet again on Wednesday and then again on Friday. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about blogs that sell. So what is it about blog posts that actually make them sell? And the idea for this training came from my own blog. It's been a great couple of years for my blog in the sense that I have, I've reached a time in my business when I can actually work very few hours and the leads just come into my business through the blog. And the speed at which the leads convert really, really amazes me sometimes. It doesn't only happen for me, it also happens for my clients because I teach the same system to my clients. And one of the things I'm going to share with you today is actually what actually goes into these blog posts, which is something that so far I have only ever shared with my paying clients. So this is actually a first. It's a first on one hand, and it's also not a first in the sense that this is something that I tried to sell in 2005, but it looked like my audience was not ready. So, I actually came across some old things a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, you know what? I thought now the time is ripe. I can see this working really well for me and for my clients, and now's the time to go out there and share it. Okay, excellent. So here's what we're going to do. So today we're going to talk about the types of articles that are best for selling. And I'm going to also explain what makes them the best types for selling. Then on Wednesday, which is August 3rd, I'm consulting my notes here because if there's one thing I don't have a head for, it's dates, but that's okay. August 3rd, Wednesday, same time as today. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about, just a second, it looks like, let's see. Okay, some people are asking for the link in the event chat, so let's make sure they've got that too. Okay, so then on the second day, on Wednesday, we're going to talk about the anatomy of a blog post, of a great blog post. So what is it that makes a blog post catch the attention of a person who lands on it and then persuade them to actually take the action we want them to take? So whether it is, in my case, it is mostly to book a one-to-one call, or maybe to register for a free webinar, or whether it is to download a PDF, it's one of those things. So no matter what you want people to do, there is a process, and there are things that you can put in your blog post that are going to make people actually go down, read, that are going to make the content go down well with your audience, and then push them without pushing them, because that is the whole point of blogging. Yeah, we are persuading people without having to push them. So we, in a way, are kind of sort of getting them to agree with us. We are not pushing. There's one thing that blogging is not, is pushing. So, I am one who I absolutely hate pushy sales. That's one of the reasons why I'm not very good with, things that require DMing and convincing people to buy. And, so that's why I'm a big believer in blogging, because people come to you, they read the article, they agree with you, there's a process, and they go through and they take the action that you want. And that's exactly what we're going to cover tomorrow. And then on the last day, which is Friday, we're going to talk about probably the most important thing that brings everything together. We're going to talk about introductions and call to actions. Introductions are key because they keep people reading. So once they land on that page, you've got to grab them. You've only got a few seconds to grab their attention and show them that this is an article worth reading. So that's what we're going to talk about. And then, of course, you also have the call to action. So how do you end an article in a way that makes the reader think, yeah, I really want to take the next step. I really want to do something about this. I really want to talk to this person. I really want to buy this course. I really want to check out this next thing that they want to offer me. So that's what we're going to do on Friday. Excellent. So let's circle back to today. I hope you have all found the live in the meantime. I have seen a few people in the chat asking for the link, and that's great. Hey, I can see Liam is here, Gudrun and Yasminka. Hello, lovely to see you all. Excellent. So let's dive right in. Now, I don't have slides for today, and the main reason is I am going to share some examples with you. But I highly recommend, if you want to remember sort of what we're going to say, to take some notes. Again, it's not rocket science, but to actually take down a few pointers is really going to help. So let's talk about the types of articles. Let's fish out my notes. Excellent. So yeah, so the first thing is the types of articles. And looking at sort of the statistics, not only the statistics from my blog, but they're actually consistent with, the statistics that a lot of marketers and big sort of companies like HubSpot, who deal in content, share. So the articles that tend to be best for selling tend to be the ones that tell people how to do something. And these don't necessarily have to have like a how-to title. And I'm going to show you some examples. But it does obviously really help if you're promising the person that's clicking that they're going to achieve, that they're going to learn how to do something, that you're going to give them something of value that they can actually go away and action. And of course, it makes absolute sense that these are the articles that convert the best, because people who click on this kind of article have come to that post because they've clicked on it because they want to do something. So what's actually happening is that the name of the post itself is filtering people who are willing to take action from people who are just browsing. So already this kind of article is going to attract the kind of clients, the kind of prospect who is already looking to take action. So it's going to make a very big difference when it comes to, putting that call to action in the bottom and suggesting that they take the next step, because these are already action takers. They want to see how you do something. So chances are they actually want to do it. So let's take a bit of a look at sort of the kind of articles that I mean. And it looks like I have a lot of useless tabs on my browser, which I normally do. That's no secret. But today I have a few tabs open to show you the examples. So here I wanted to show you that even though they are how-to articles, they don't necessarily need to actually have a how-to in the title. For instance, if I'm talking about, if my article is called Lead Generation for Coaches, which some of you may recognize is actually a whole keyword, so my title is the whole keyword, I could have called this How to how to generate leads for coaches, or, lead generation for coaches, how to make it happen quickly. I could have given this a how to title quite easily, but I felt that it wasn't necessary. And if you take a good look, then it actually goes through the process of creating a good basis for you to generate leads for your coaching business. But as you can see, it's promising to show you how to do something without actually saying the how to. So this is sort of one example. And by the way, I've actually picked here the 5 articles that are ranking the highest. At the moment, my blog ranks for about between 30 and 40 keywords in the first 4 positions. And these are the top 5 pages that are ranking highest. So as you can see, they all have this sort of promise that they're going to give you something that you're going to use. This one is a little bit different to the how to, but I have added it to this actually, first of all, because it's one of the top rankings. So I think it's only fair that you get to see the real ones, and I'm not sort of editing anything out. But as you can see, this is giving a promise as well. So it's showing 10 lead magnet ideas for coaches, and people who want ideas are people who are going to do something with it. So they're looking for an idea because they want to create one. So this obviously is very highly connected to my audience, and it's probably one of those. Okay, so another one is top 10 profitable coaching niches in 2022. Actually, hang on a second. This is an article which I need to show you for another reason, which I believe, hang on a second. That should be at the front, because this is actually not one of the top 10. It's not one of the how-tos, but I need to show you that I have some data in there that I need to share with you in just a minute. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So the next one is discovery call script, which is my keyword. And then it says, write your own non-sleazy, high converting script. So it's basically could have been called how to write your own discovery call script. And in fact, that's the kind of keyword it's going to come up for. So when we're promising to give people something that they're going to learn how to do, like this one, again, how to create your own pre-coaching questionnaire, how to create your own template. These are the kind of articles that are going to attract action takers. And action takers are people who are ready to buy. So very, very important. Always think your best keywords should always become how-to articles. So very important there. Okay, so what's the other reason why how-to articles? Again, you can also have guides. So you could also guide people through a process. You can also have articles that are called 10 steps to, I don't know, finding more freedom in your life, 10 ways of making your business more profitable. The only three things you need to know to build a successful business. So anything that is promising to give information that people can actually action is going to help you attract action takers. So that's extremely important. Now, why does Google love this kind of content? Another reason why this kind of content is going to not only convert better, but also attract a lot more traffic is because Google loves this kind of content. And Google loves this kind of content because you are promising value. Now, you're probably, some of you might be familiar with the EAT algorithm that was released last year around this time, actually. But basically, in layman's terms, what that means is that Google in the last year or so, even a little bit longer, has really been working on improving their algorithm. And they are improving it in favor of quality content. So what they want is, if you're giving value, if you're giving people a good experience on your blog and your website, Google is going to give you a lot of plus points, and it's going to make your site more visible. It's going to show it to more people. And of course, if you've done your ideal client research correctly, it's also going to show it to the right people. So very important that Google is doing the connection. If you have a how-to post and you're promising to show people a solution, Google is already saying, okay, so Here, there is something that the user can take away and use right away. So this is probably already a good quality blog post. Now, of course, Google's AI algorithms can read language really well these days. So, and in any language. So no matter what language you're using, they can actually go in there and take a look at what you wrote and really understand from different pointers whether you're providing quality or not. They also analyze how much time people spend on your website. So this is why the intros that we're going to do on Friday are very important, because Google knows how much time people are spending on that article. And if people are reading it through, then they're going to say, hey, this is good information. So not only did you promise to give me something to take away, but you have also given me value for sure, because I can see, Google can see that people are spending time on there. So all these things actually really help you, and they really help you give information. They really help you give Google the right pointers to attract more people to your blog. And of course, you need to keep people on your blog as long as possible, because that is the most important thing. So usually if you can keep people beyond the 5, 6, 7 second mark, if you've taken them beyond your introduction, you can then reel them in, because a lot of people are going to skim read. They're going to read the titles, the subtitles, the different steps, which is another reason why articles like this, how to, or 7 steps to make something happen. Another reason why Google and people love them is because you can skim read, you can very easily understand what the article is about without actually reading it. So it's going to keep people coming back. Okay, so one little word of warning, because here we're dealing with service providers and with coaches. So this is a question that I get a lot when I'm coaching my clients. So it's important that I mention it as a bit of a word of warning. What a lot of people don't understand is they ask me, how much value do I actually give? And this is a very important question, because if you're giving too much value, you could actually jeopardize the sale. Okay. I can hear, excellent, some messages coming through. Okay, I can see some people are still looking for the live. Just a second, just go on page and look in live videos. Okay. Some people haven't been able to find the link, not sure why. Okay, these are the people coming from the event, which should have had actually, I think I can actually share the correct video right away. Okay, there's a new way of sharing it. I just discovered a new way. Excellent. All right, so let me remember where we were. Right, so yeah, very important word of warning, especially if you're selling coaching services or training services or courses. There is a fine balance. You don't want to give people the full solution. Let's say you have an article called, I don't know, how to create a profitable business. You don't want to walk them through all the details of all the different steps. All you want to do is make sure that they understand the pitfalls and the steps that they need to go through. You don't have to share with them all the tools they're going to use. You don't have to share with them maybe all the questions you would use in your coaching. So this is in fact something that is very common with coaches. They tend to, because coaches, we are the kind of people who really like to share what we know. We're the kind of people who really like to give. Ultimately a person becomes a coach because they just love to teach. They just love to see other people succeed and do well. So it can be very difficult for us to edit ourselves and not give it all away. But with blogging, I think it's very important that we give enough information for people to understand what the process is like, but we cannot actually coach them through it in the blog post itself. So as soon as you find yourself sort of going into your coach persona instead of your writer persona, and it does really help to have, a coach persona and a writer persona, where there's slightly different mindsets, where the writer doesn't give it all away. The writer is just trying to explain the process. The coach persona is, when you really give it all away on your coaching sessions, but you don't want to give it all away before, because otherwise it's going to be really difficult for you to find the right call to action, because there is nothing left for them to do. And in fact, we're going to see this on Friday again. It's going to be really difficult for you to just say, hey, this is the next thing to do, if you've already told them how to do the whole thing. So, the way you break down the process is very important. So I just wanted to make a little bit of a warning about that. There are then people who sell services. So there are people who maybe are selling copywriting, maybe they're selling design services or marketing services. And in this case, you could kind of give it all away. In a way, it kind of helps if they go a little bit overboard. And it can be seen as I have seen some articles where I think this is a little bit of a dirty trick. But for services, unfortunately, the right approach would be to actually give away a lot of information to the point where your audience is going to say, maybe this is a lot of work and I don't really want to do it myself. So in a way, going into all the detail, if you're selling a service, if you're actually going to do a done for you service, might actually make people think, no, this is too much work, I'm going to outsource this. So it might work in your advantage. But for coaches, definitely, help people come to one or two aha moments, help people understand that, okay, there is a solution to my problem and I can really work this through with a coach. Very often, especially, for instance, I work with a lot of life coaches. At the moment, I'm working with a couple of nutrition coaches and yoga coaches. And very often the client actually knows what they need to do to get the solution. They know, for instance, that if they want to lose weight or if they want to feel better, they got to eat better, they got to move, they got to, they have to slow down on the stress. But they will not do it by themselves. This happens to a lot of life coaches as well. And why even business coaches? Very often we know what we need to do, but we need a coach because we need someone to keep us accountable. We need someone to sort of bounce ideas off. We need someone to pick us up when we want to give up and we don't want to stay on the right track. So it's one of those things where you need to show them that it's possible. You need to also convince them that they can do it. Very, very important. This is a very important part of the sale, actually. You need to convince them that they can do it, because very often people don't buy, not because they don't believe you can do it, they don't believe they can do it. So for you, making sure that you have a process, you have a system that's going to support people all the way through is very important, because they need to believe that with your help, they're going to be able to do this thing that they haven't been able to do alone. So again, very important part of the value that you offer. Excellent. So, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the meantime. We've almost hit the 30-minute mark, but I do have a couple of other things to add. Because of course, this is something that this is sort of a theme that you're going to see over the 3 days. So apart from today's training, you're going to hear me mention this again on Wednesday, and especially you're going to hear me harp on about it on Friday, because one of the most important things is that you connect everything. So, a lot of people think, oh, I need a lot of traffic. That's how I'm going to get my blog to convert. Oh, I need to have really good conversion copy. That's how I'm going to get my blog to convert. Oh, I need to have the right package. That's how I get the blog to convert, or the right pricing, or the right ideal client. And truth is that it's all true. The truth is that we have a very high conversion rate when we actually combine all of these things together. So by combining the ideal client, making sure that it's really closely connected to the offer, that the offer is priced right for the ideal client. Because these two things, if they disconnect, you're going to have a low conversion rate if you're targeting people who cannot pay your prices. So it's important that your price and also your offer are aligned with the ideal client. And also, of course, your messaging, extremely important. Your messaging in your blogs, your messaging in your offering, and also the messaging, especially in your call to action. Even if you leave the blog out of the equation, if you just connect your call to action with your offer and your ideal client, if those three things are really nicely aligned, you're already going to have an easy sale where you literally can jump on a call with a prospect and you don't need to push, you don't need to sell. And if you know anything about me, and some of you might not, I am not for pushing on the sales call. I am not a pusher. I believe that the pushing should be done in pushing yourself to make sure you provide really good content, and then that content is going to work for you to bring you enough leads so you don't need to worry about how many of them you're going to close, because you have more than enough leads to see you through the goals that you want to reach in your business. So what that does, it puts you in a position where you're comfortable, you don't need to push anybody. And with coaching, it's never a good idea to push, because if you end up with a client that's not a good match, you suffer because it's going to be hard for you to work with them. They suffer because what you're selling might not be a good match and it might not work for them. So it's extremely important that, especially for coaches, trainers, people who sell courses, that you're well aligned with the kind of people that you're working with. So if you have any questions, now's the time to pop them into the chat. I'm going to actually take a good look and see. Let me take a look. I have different views for the chat here. Okay, feel free to, let me see. I'm going to mute myself so that you don't hear me double. Okay, very good. And if you have questions, feel free to pop them next to the live video right now. Okay, you can hear me double. Okay, I've muted myself now. Excellent. So you can pop them in the chat. You can, of course, also contact me by email. I know that a few of you have. There's also a chat going in the event. So if you're part of the event and you want to pop your question in there, it should pop up and I should be able to see that as well. Excellent. Very good. I can see that most of you have actually found the video. That's excellent. Excellent. So yeah, so I'm going to quickly go over sort of what we're going to finish up in the next 3 days. So I hope today's was valuable for you. Tomorrow, we're going to, sorry, not tomorrow, Wednesday. On Wednesday, we're going to take a look at probably the most important, one of the most important things. If you have been writing for a while and you still feel like, there might be something missing, that you could be doing more in your blog posts, we're going to actually break down the different parts of the blog and take a look at, real life examples that, makes basically, it builds up that part of the persuasion process. Now, it varies a lot for different kinds of coaches, but I'm going to give you just enough pointers tomorrow to make sure. On Wednesday, I keep saying tomorrow, sorry about that. I'm going to turn up tomorrow at this stage. No, which I'm not. I promise now, it's going to be Wednesday. And you will get a reminder like today. Hopefully we won't have any more broken links, because it's been a problem with our tool. So what we're doing now is we're actually sending the link, and then, if the link doesn't actually open the live for you, you can copy it and you can paste it. Some people asked, I got a question by email before I started, from someone actually who couldn't open the link, and she said, is this a challenge? Is there going to be an offer? There isn't going to be an offer. So this is not one of those challenges where I'm going to do 3 days of free training and then I'm going to say, here's my coaching program, buy it. I do have spots open for one-to-one coaching. I am currently pre-selling a group program which starts in September, but I am not actually going to open any particular offers on this particular training. That said, if you're interested in working with me, feel free to pop a question in the DMs and I can share any links if you're interested. But of course, this is going to be a pitch-free training, so I'm not actually going to be showing you any slides about any particular offer. You know, this is just about really helping you create blogs that sell, because it's something I'm very passionate about. Excellent. So I'm going to check one last time about the questions. I hope that I'm not seeing them delayed, because I have a feeling I might see a little bit of delay. But I'm actually not seeing any other questions. I'm just seeing a few comments, a handful of comments, but no questions. So I'm going to jump off. If you have questions, I will actually circle back to this video. And of course, come back on Wednesday, because if there are any questions that I need to answer live, I will answer them live. If you're watching the replay, feel free to pop your questions under the video. You can write #replay and pop your question down there. And then I can actually catch up with you on the next live or in the chat, depending on how easy it is to answer your query. I hope you found this useful. I look forward to talking about the actual anatomy and how we break down a great blog post. And I'm going to show you a lot of examples on Wednesday, and then the introductions and call to actions on Friday. Until then, happy blogging. I'm sure a lot of you will be writing. If blogging is your thing, I certainly will. And I will see you again on Wednesday. Have a lovely rest of the day. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.